What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Arrow Season 5, Episode 8, Invasion. If you wanted even more proof that the Supergirl night was not part of the crossover night, The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, all three of the episodes for this week are called Invasion. Supergirl's was called something completely different. So, if you wanted more proof that Supergirl was not part of the crossover, that episode, there's even more proof. But anyway, done talking about that. Let's talk about this one. When I heard about what was going on with this episode, when I heard about the plot for it, when I heard about what's going to be happening, I kind of rolled my eyes, and frankly, it's just an idea that's been done to death. We've got the bad guys are able to manipulate your mind. So what's one thing they're going to do? Put you in a fantasy world where everything's good. I wonder how they're going to get out of it. So let's take it step by step, because frankly, it's kind of how I experienced it. Was just step by step, looking at it in a way, is it going to do anything different? Or is this just going to be pretty much the same thing that I've seen every single time they do the story? So, first of all, we see Oliver, his fantasy life. He's marrying Laurel, and that's also part of Sarah's fantasy life because Laurel's alive. On top of that, his parents are back, so that was a nice touch. Having Laurel come back and he's marrying her, having his parents come back, that was a good part of it as well. And then we see with Ray, he's married to Felicity, so that was kind of an interesting little tidbit thrown in there that you can see he still kind of has feelings for her. So I like that. We see Diggle is working with Felicity, and he's the Green Arrow, except they're calling him the Hood again. So it's almost like, we kind of get a good feel of what this fantasy life is very early on. So it's not like the entire episode is spent them figuring it out about their fantasy life. No, a lot of it is the fantasy life is set up pretty soon, and then the rest of the episode is okay. They're slowly getting out of it. So I like that. It's a good setup for it. Even though I've seen this story done, it could have been done a lot worse. It could have been the entire episode as them just experiencing the fantasy life, and that's all it is. But no, they kept the focus with what it should have been. Them figuring out slowly that this fantasy life is just a fantasy, and then starting to, I guess, work together to break out of this fantasy. So, you're going through it. There are a couple interesting moments. There's one where Oliver's walking with his father down a dark alleyway. Batman. And so a guy comes to steal, like this robber comes to steal their stuff at gunpoint. Batman. And I'm sorry. I'm saying Batman because Arrow has already ripped off everything from Batman, so why not rip off the alleyway scene? Why not? So anyway, but the Green Arrow comes out of nowhere, saves them from this guy, but Oliver steps in front of his dad to sort of save him. It's like, wait, why am I doing this? Why am I acting so heroic? So another moment for him to kind of question, is this all real? But honestly, one of the ideas that was brought up by this is, what if Green Arrow is just an idea, and it's like this is his subconscious fighting against it. This is the Green Arrow inside of him fighting against the fantasy. That would have been so awesome. But no, we find out later it's just Diggle as the Green Arrow. And so, he goes to visit the headquarters because he has a vision of it, memory really, but he thinks it's just a vision. He goes in there, and Diggle and Felicity are both there. They kind of scare him away, say, "You're getting married, go, accept with what you have." But then Diggle starts to have these visions too, so he goes and finds him, and they're having this talk, and this is the day of the wedding, so Oliver's already missed the rehearsal, and all this stuff is going on that doesn't even really matter. And so he and Diggle are talking about the fact that what if this isn't real? Like, well, if it's not, there's going to be certain things in place to fight us and put us back in it. And he's like, what? Like that. And Slade is there. I'm just like, holy crap, I don't even care anymore. Like, this episode is awesome because you have Slade in it. Only problem? You don't have Slade in it. You had freaking Deathstroke, and that's it. Never took off the mask, never talked to him. He was just there in the suit. We didn't get to see him, we didn't get to hear him. I wanted freaking Slade. I didn't want just Deathstroke. Part of Deathstroke is Slade. You stupid. You had you brought back all of these characters. You brought back his parents. You brought back Laurel. You brought back all of these people. You couldn't bring back Slade for one episode? Are you kidding me? That's the one thing I've wanted to see for the past several seasons. Of course, I think I heard from somebody that the guy who plays Slade doesn't want to be a part of the show anymore because he doesn't like the writing. But come on, just say, look, for this one episode, we want you in this. Pay him a ton of money for it. I don't care. Get Slade back for one episode. So they start to fight him for a second. Sarah comes up and stabs him, kills him, and she's just like, wait, how can I do this? So they start to realize, okay, we need to get out of here. They find Ray and Thea and start talking to them. Look, this is just a fantasy. We need to leave. And Ray is pretty accepting of it. He starts to realize, you're right, this isn't real. But then Sarah's just like, Thea says she doesn't want to go. And so Oliver's talking to her about it. And it's a very emotional scene because you really see Thea, she doesn't want to leave. She doesn't feel like she has anything waiting for her back in reality. So she really does want to stay here because her parents are still alive here. Laurel's still alive here. You know, all of it, this is the perfect life for her. So as she's talking, I'm just like, holy crap, she might actually decide to stay. And they cut to commercial break, and she decides she's going to stay. I'm just like, holy crap. I've never seen this done before in a situation like this. You know, most of the time, this speech, you know, she's given to Oliver, most of the time this comes from whatever part of the mind is being manipulated. They send somebody their way. You know, like, in this case, normally Laurel would come up to Oliver as the computer that's controlling their mind and be like, look, Oliver, you don't want to leave, you know, stay. This is all real. This is all here for you. And they kind of do that throughout the episode. But to hear it from from a character, from somebody who's being mind controlled, be like, I want to stay mind controlled. I don't care if this isn't reality. It's real enough for me. I've never seen this done before. So her decision to stay was shocking. I'm just like, holy crap. And then we cut back from the commercial break, and they go outside, and Thea's just like, I'm coming with you. You know, there have been several moments in Arrow throughout these 5 seasons where a character has made one decision and then either completely gone back against it in the next episode for some reason, or they say one thing, like they're, you know, Felicity talking to her mom about how sometimes people have to lie to protect the ones they love, and in the very next episode, she finds out Oliver lied to protect his son, and she's breaking up with him because of it. There have been several moments like this. But most of the time, it's this episode they say one thing, the next episode they say something different. So you could argue, okay, so maybe change of writers in between the 2 episodes, and maybe they didn't communicate. Maybe something like that. Maybe something stupid like that. This is literally a commercial break. She makes the decision to stay behind and be with her family, which would have been, first of all, it would have been ballsy because having one of your characters decide to stay behind in the mind control program, that's ballsy. And, you know, Thea hasn't really been a big part of Arrow this season. She hasn't even been Speedy. She's just been Thea, working for Oliver. So to have her decide that, you could work around it. You know, you could work it to where maybe she's not in the next episode because she decided to stay. You could do so many interesting things and so many really intense things with this. And then the very next scene, she decides she's changed her mind. Why? Because we need her to leave somehow. Because we can't just leave her on the computer. That would be too risky. We can't do that. That would be too risky to do with one of our characters. We can't just leave them there. They all have to get out together. You know, they have to leave together. You stupid pieces of crap. I can't believe that they would just do this. You know, I can believe it because they've done it several times before in the past. But to do it so obviously and blatantly, and it's not even like Oliver said something to convince her. All she says is, I changed my mind. Like I said, I can't leave family talking about Oliver now. It's like, I'm sure Oliver would be created in the computer too. And that's real enough for you, right? It's lazy writing is what it is. They wanted to have this emotional moment, fake out moment, where you're just like, oh my gosh, Thea's staying behind. And then, oh, nope, just kidding. So then we have what is probably the best part of the episode. There's a pretty cool fight scene where you've got Thea fighting Malcolm because that's her demon. You've got Oliver fighting Slade because that's his demon. Of course, no, sorry, not Slade. It's fighting Deathstroke because can't have the two anymore. We have obviously Sarah's fighting Damien Dark. We have Diggle fighting, I guess, Andy, even though I guess they couldn't get the actor to play Andy again in this episode, so they just had some of Damien Dark's guys like dressed up, and then Ray's fighting some random guy that it may have been, I don't know. I think it may have been one of Slade's guys that whenever they took the serum in season 2, I can't remember if he. Oh, right. Because those guys, they were his fiance was killed whenever they raided the town, so those were his demons. Okay, it makes sense now. I don't think this ever happened in the middle of a review. I remember, like, all of a sudden I understand something I didn't before. So anyway, so I mean, obviously the one part of that did frustrate me. Like I said, Andy wasn't the one John was fighting. I think that would have made it more understandable, but instead they just have, Andy was wearing the not Diggle, Damien Dark's clothes or whatever, one of his henchmen's clothes, and so I guess we're supposed to understand, oh, that's supposed to represent Andy instead of just having Andy. So they ultimately all work together. Some pretty cool scenes. One was way too unbelievable because Thea grabbed an arrow instead of just tossing it to Sarah. She shoots it to Sarah, and Sarah just catches it. And yeah, no bullshit. But ultimately they win the fight. They go to Smoke, whatever Industries, and that's where they see the portal to get back. But before Oliver goes in, he looks back and sees all these people standing there. You've got his parents, you've got Felicity's there, which she's not dead. You've got Laurel there, you've got Tommy there. I think it was Tommy. I don't know. There are two people that kind of look like Tommy, kind of not. I don't know. I still have a theory that Tommy is the one that's Prometheus in the show right now, so still think he's possibly alive. But anyway, so he sees them and he hears the speeches that they gave to him back when he was learning, becoming something more. And it was a touching moment. So then they go through the portal. They all wake up and they're going through the ship. But before I talk about that, let's talk about the other part of the episode, because we couldn't just have the team on Earth doing nothing. So instead of giving them something interesting to do, we just give them a random bad guy to fight, because we couldn't give, obviously I want the team on Earth doing something. I want them to be trying to help out somehow. But just having this random bad guy, this random bad guy stole what we need right now. Oh, well, let's go find him and track it. Seriously? Come on. You could have did something else that was more interesting than that. So they track down the bad guy. Flash, Supergirl, Wild Dog, Curtis, because I'm not calling him Mr. Terrific, and Ragman all go. Don't know where Artemis is. I guess they don't care either. I don't know why. I mean, we saw she's working with Prometheus, but still, no questions at all. But we have probably one of the more annoying elements of this, Wild Dog being annoying again. Like, last episode with him, it felt like he was getting better. It felt like his character was improving and becoming less whiny and becoming actually more relatable. And then all of a sudden he finds out, Cisco's a metahuman? Oh, you're a metahuman too? And then Barry shows up, Supergirl shows up. Man, I had enough of this. Why do we have to have him whining in every single episode? We didn't have that in the last episode of Arrow. Why do we have to have him whining in this? Why does he have to hate metahumans? And at the end of the episode, sure enough, they work together, they save his life, they stop the bad guy. I still think powers are weird. But I'm glad there are people like you to help save the world. It's just... You couldn't even do a cliche storyline right. Like, that's one of the most cliche, the prejudice against something else, and then by the end of the episode, now I don't have the prejudice anymore. In one moment. Just because in one scene, Flash gets him out of the way of the girl that was trying to shoot him with the electric whatever, because I don't even care about this bad guy. We saw her for literally, a minute at the most? So, he saves him from that bolt, and then Flash and Supergirl work together in probably the stupidest way possible. Like, really? This is your big action scene for them? First of all, the fact that she's shooting at Wild Dog and he's just running and shooting guns at her while she just sort of stands there and he doesn't hit her at all. And then Flash zooms, speeds up, not zooms up. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Speeds up to her, punches her several times, knocks her against the wall. Supergirl lands, slowly stands up, brushes the hair out of her face, and then they start walking towards each other. High five, and then she like grabs the girl, throws her across the room. Flash runs and like clotheslines her. I'm just like, this is the dumbest thing in the world. This is literally the dumbest thing that I've ever seen the Flash do. Supergirl, I've seen dumber. The Flash, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen him do. I mean, come the hell on. What is this? What is this fight scene? Did you run out of ideas? Did you not think? I mean, come on. You've got a bad guy to fight, and you're telling me all it takes is Barry runs up, knocks her against the wall, Supergirl walks up, throws her across the room, Barry clotheslines her, and it's all so slow, too. It's not like, it's not like they did it quickly. It's not like this bad guy was, like, trying to fight back, and they're just, like, zooming around, and then Supergirl flies back around her, knocks her from behind, and then Barry gets her from the front. No, it's just, he pretty much, after he punches her, Supergirl just walks over to her while Barry walks to the other side of the room, and then she just grabs her and throws her, and it's just all so slow, and you got the two fastest people on the planet, and they're walking around the room. Are you stupid? Let me answer that for you. Yes, you are. So, I know I'm complaining a lot about this, and ultimately the crossover part is still awesome, but that is just dumb. And then on top of that, you finally get to a point where they start to decode, they start talking to the alien ship, or however they described it. They find out that apparently they're using a very old type of Hebrew to communicate. And so, they're trying to find out where they are. They're trying to get the coordinates for where they are. And all of a sudden they find out, okay, so but these are negative coordinates. The only time they're negative coordinates are if... And then all of a sudden they're shocked for a second. And then they go back to the ship. And hold your horses, guys. Just, if you're watching this review and you haven't watched the episode and you're hearing all of this for the first time, sit down, because this is pretty crazy. This is pretty insane. I mean, I didn't see this coming. After they got beamed up to a spaceship, I did not. They're in space. No. They got beamed up to the spaceship and they're in space? That is the last thing I would expect if I had a lobotomy. Because obviously they're in space. If you want to do this as like a surprise for Felicity and friends, that's fine. If you want to make it to where, oh my gosh, we just found out, holy crap, they're in space, that's fine. But they did it like it's a surprise to the audience. We're not freaking stupid. We are not idiots. We know they got beamed up to a spaceship. They're probably in space. For Felicity, it's just like, oh my gosh. And then for the rest of the team, it's like, oh my gosh. For us, no shit. We saw them going into the spaceship. We know where they are. So, I don't know. It's just, maybe we were supposed to assume that the spaceship had landed somewhere. I didn't assume that. So, there was nothing that they did to make me think, oh yeah, the spaceship is somewhere on Earth. I was thinking, they're probably in space right now. They're on a spaceship. I highly doubt the aliens actually went and landed somewhere. So yeah, overall, I mean, a lot of problems with this episode. I mean, obviously, first of all, the episode is based around a very overdone story. I've seen this done over and over and over again. They didn't really bring anything new to it. If they had decided to leave Thea behind, if she had actually decided to stay within this mind control fantasy, that would have been something new. That would have been something intense. What do you do when all of you decide to leave, but one of your team decides, I want to stay? What do you do in that case? Do you bring her body with you? Like, do you just take her out of the thing, or do you bring the whole thing with you? Like, what do you do in that case? So, I don't know. I'm once again, like last night, I'm disappointed, but not because of not the same reason. Last night I was disappointed because I was expecting something a lot more epic, and what I got was a lot of build-up. So tonight I was expecting, okay, a lot of build-up last night, it should be epic tonight. And it's like they tried to make it epic, but failed on every account. And who knows, maybe tomorrow night will be the epic finale I'm expecting, but tonight was just, there are too many mistakes, too many idiot moments, too many moments where it feels like they don't believe the audience that they're attracting is smart enough to think. I don't know. It's just really frustrating to me. So, I guess to talk about the last part, they're speeding away in a little aircraft. Ultimately, the Wave Rider shows up, picks them up, takes them into the ship, and then speeds off somewhere. So, we get to see a bit of Haywood. We get to see Gideon. We get to see the Wave Rider in this. So obviously it is building up for. It seems like tomorrow night's going to be the epic conclusion. The aliens are going to attack Earth. So that's what it's all been building up to. Hopefully they do it right. Hopefully they don't make any stupid decisions. But tonight, true to form for Arrow, I guess, it was just not that good. And whenever you've got an epic crossover like this, it should at least be enjoyable. But throughout most of this episode, I'm not enjoying it. Except for the one fight scene where they're fighting all of their demons, except for obviously John. It's not good. It's stupid. It's really, really phoned in and exactly what I expect. So, I'm done venting. I'm done talking about it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Are you in agreement with me? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Arrow reviews, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace out.